Control, I need a unit for an officer in need of assistance. I need a medic for a person down.
Once upon a time, I had a life, dreams and goals. Working as an activation staff where my job profile had traveling and moving around to other regions. All my dreams, my goals and hopes of my family went down in vain because of me not being aware of my surroundings and not taking proper road safety precautions.
We got a phone call and we rushed to the location. Once we arrive at location, we ask the crowd to move away from the injured person because he needs air to breathe.
After receiving a call, we go directly to the scene. Before we proceed, we have to wear our personal protective equipment, safety BSI. Check if the scene if it is safe. In this stage, you have to identify if you need extra help, like more medical equipments, extra ambulance, fire team, and police. Upon arrival in the hospital, we have to endorse the condition of the patient, vital information, and the first aid treatment given.
The driver who has hit the pedestrian is taken under custody. We ask from the crowd if there was any eyewitness to the accident. We then examine the scene and the damages to the area around and the driver. We go to police station and question the driver. At the same time, we wait to know from the hospital the situation of the pedestrian. At this stage, we arrive at two situations. If the person survives and has no major injuries, they come to a calculation which is called tafahum, like a personal settlement. Second situation is when the pedestrian has fracture state injuries, the driver has to bear all the charges of hospital. Driver is kept under custody till the family members sign the letter of tanazul.
In an emergency case where the patient is rushed to the hospital, we first check the patient's conscious level and his response level to us and to the people around. Most common injuries that happen in case of cars hitting a pedestrian at low speed are head injuries, spine injuries, followed by scratches, bruises, fractures. In case of a car hitting a person on high speed, it may result into immediate death, a severe head injury and internal bleeding, for which the patient is immediately rushed to the surgery room. Even they are cured, there are chances of severe side effects as the emotions of the patient and his or her relatives are involved. Being a doctor, we need to subside that for the moment and mainly focus on the recovery of the patient.
The case where the pedestrian does not survive, the driver is sent to prison for 3 months and has to pay the loss to the family in whatever they demand, which is called the blood money. In those cases, the court decides the legal right of the family and to know who was actually at fault.
Well, to conclude, the driver cannot be the one to be blamed in case of pedestrian accident because we encounter cases in which the pedestrians do not use the pedestrian crossover and instead choose a much shorter path, yet dangerous and filled with risk.
Whenever you see an accident happen, make sure you call the police. Try not to create a jam or running to situations. Give some airspace to the injured people and not to panic around him.
I wish I could have been a little more attentive and not been lost on my phone while crossing the road. My carelessness changed my entire life. While the accident took place, there was a crossing mark at a distance of 10 meters, but I chose not to cross from there, and instead I crossed from the place where I was standing, and then I didn't even see at the either sides. I wouldn't blame the driver who hit me.
Basic teaching starts at home. Parents should strictly advise their children to be very careful on roads and be attentive while crossing a road.
Be careful while driving or crossing the roads. There could be kids or people crossing. Make sure you drive at the speed limits mentioned on the roads, because then there are lesser chances of meeting an accident. Parents should make sure kids do not run around the roads, because once a life lost, it will never come back and will have a space in the heart of your family.
You can encounter pedestrians anytime and anywhere, even in places where they're not supposed to be found. Pedestrians can be very hard to see, especially in bad weather or at night. You must keep a lookout and slow down if you can't see clearly. When entering a crosswalk area, drive slowly and be prepared to stop. Stop for pedestrians who are in a crosswalk, even if it's not marked. When you stop for a pedestrian in a crosswalk, stop well back, so that drivers in the other lanes can also see the pedestrian in time to stop. Do not overtake and pass other vehicles stopped for pedestrians. When you are turning, you often will have to wait for a gap in traffic. Beware that while you are watching for that gap, pedestrians may have moved into your intended path. Be especially attentive around schools and in neighborhoods where children are active. Be predictable. Stay off freeways and restricted zones. Use sidewalks where provided. Cross or enter streets where it's legal to do so. Where no sidewalks are provided, it is usually safer to walk facing road traffic. Make it easy for drivers to see you. Dress in light colours and wear retro-reflective material. It might be wise to carry a flashlight in very dark areas. Be wary. Most drivers are nice people, but don't count on them paying attention. Watch out, make eye contact to be sure they see you. Alcohol and drugs can impair your ability to walk safely, just like they do a person's ability to drive. Use extra caution when crossing multiple lane, higher speed streets.